And we are live. Do you want to say hi, Luke?
No!
I don't think Luke wants to if you're on camera. Right, yeah, he's not
Hey,
really.
Bobby!
But yeah, so hello everyone. FIA Formula 3 is about to begin. I'm just gonna link that I'm live. And there we go. That's me done. So, hello. Oh look, cousin Sean's saying hi. Do you want to say hi to cousin Sean? It's cousin Sean. Do you want to say hi to cousin Sean? Yeah, he's a bit tired. He got up a while ago. So Formula 3's about to begin. They're showing the intro sequence out. It's pretty cool. I would turn it around, but I get copyright claims. So sorry if you're looking in the background. He's quite he knows exactly what's up. But it's the Styrian Hills. Should I say the famous quote? Look. The hills are alive with the sound of Formula 3 cars.
No.
All right then.
Yeah.
You do you. I'll just there we go. But yeah, on pole is Dennis Hauger, who got pole by 17 thousandths. Because Kyle Collette's lap time got deleted. Very, very close qualifying, but then again, you expect nothing less of Formula 3. But hello everyone. If you don't already, I'm Ruslan Plutner. If you can hear someone in the background, it's my little brother. He's just being quite loud. He got up about an hour ago. He's watching Formula 3 with me. He's obviously, we can't have audio on, otherwise we'll get claimed. And so basically, Luke's just doing that. He's hitting his head against the couch, basically. Luke, how are you? I think he's quite tired. Since he probably got up about half an hour ago. I mean, I saw him about 10 minutes ago for the first time, and yeah, he looked quite tired. He was having his breakfast. So, Logan Sargeant, as you can see in the description, I have basically given a summary. And on pole position, heading into the first of the 3 races this weekend, it's Dennis Hauger of the Red Bull Junior team. He's driving for Prema, who leads the Drivers' Championship with 70 points, 10 ahead of Alpine's Victor Martin. What time did he wake up? Luke, what time did you get up at? I don't think he knows. I think it was about 8:30, something like that. But yeah, he's quite tired. As I said, Hauger leads the championship by 10 points from Victor Martins, who's an Alpine junior, and he's driving for MP Motorsport. And for race 1, on pole position is Logan Sargeant, who's driving for Charouz, the Czech team, the Czech outfit, I should say, who have also Enzo Fittipaldi. Yeah, 8:30. He got up at 8:30. He's quite tired. Luke got up at 8:30 in the morning, not at night, I should say. Yeah, that's Matteo Nannini. Someone who works for him follows me on Instagram.
No.
Luke, do you want to play football?
Yeah.
Go get the ball then. And go play outside.
Oh.
Sargeant's on pole ahead of Nannini, and then it's Martin, Leclerc, Caldwell, and Doohan. Most of them part of driver academies, apart from Caldwell, Nannini, and Sargeant. As Leclerc part of Ferrari, Martin part of Alpine, and Doohan part of Red Bull. Then it's Clement Novalak ahead of Jack Jack Crawford, I should say, who's part of the Red Bull Academy, and then it's Kyle Collette, part of Alpine, and then it's Alex Smoyer, Frederick Vesti, and then it's Hauger, Vesti and Hauger, part of Mercedes and Red Bull. And then it's Kaelan Williams, David Schumacher, Enzo Fittipaldi, Kaelan Frederick, Oliver Rasmussen, and Johnny Edgar, with the last of them, Edgar, being part of the Red Bull Academy, as is Ayumu Iwasa, who's in 19th, ahead of Lorenzo Colombo, Tymon van der Helm, and Amwari Cordell, Juan Manuel Correa, and someone else, I didn't see who it was on time, Roman Stanek, Villa Gomez, Hauger, Toth, Ugran, and Cohen, who runs off the grid. I'll probably rewind it back a little bit. So the driver that is behind Correa is DeGeris, and this is going to be a very interesting race. Half the grid is affiliated with driver academies in Formula 1, the other half looking to get that crucial sponsorship they need to get into Formula 2, and then of course into Formula 1. And the opportunity is already knocking for some. Some have tested Formula 1 machinery already, of course. Drivers like Juan Manuel Correa, who was recently signed to the re-signed, I should say, to the Sauber Academy. Arthur Leclerc there is 11th in the championship. He had a fantastic weekend in Paul Ricard, basically his home track for this season, since Monaco is not on the calendar. And he took his first and only win in Formula 3 when he took the race win in race number 2 after starting at the back in race 1. He ended up finishing 12th, and he finished 12th in the third race as well after starting last again. So we've got 6 viewers watching. Hello to the 6 viewers that are watching. The formation lap is going to begin very, very soon, and then soon we'll be under green flag racing at the Red Bull Ring, home of the Austrian Grand Prix, and of course home to Red Bull. It's Red Bull's home circuit, of course. This is one of only 2 circuits to have hosted the Austrian Grand Prix. It's hosted it the most times. In fact, all but one occasion, as Zeltweg hosted the first ever Austrian Grand Prix in 1964, which was won by Lorenzo Bandini. And then obviously six years later, it was moved to the Hockenheim Ring, not the Hockenheim Ring, the Red Bull Ring, which is just across the road from Zeltweg. And the formation lap's about to begin. The first winner around the Austrian Ring in Formula 1 was Jackie X, who, like Bandini, was driving a Ferrari. And Joe Siffert then won in 1971.
What?
It's a joke, don't worry. Fist bump. Elbow. You okay?
No.
Have you got a sore elbow? BWT just plastered all over the place. And the formation lap has now begun. The funny thing is, Charouz are sponsored by Tesla. It's not the actual Tesla company that you're thinking of, but a different Tesla company. Yeah. And we've got some breaking news coming in right now, and that is that Lewis Hamilton has signed a 2-year contract extension with Mercedes, which means this deal will last all the way up until 2023. And we've got a staller on the grid. That is the HWA, the Carlin, of Ido Cohen. The liveries look very similar. But yeah, breaking news that Lewis Hamilton has signed a 2-year contract extension to remain with Mercedes until 2024. Or 2023, I think it's 2023. Although I might be wrong with that. But as I said earlier, Hauger leads from Martin in the championship, and then it's Doohan and Novalak, followed by Caldwell and Smoyer, Collette and Vesti, Sargeant and Nannini, Leclerc and Iwasa, Williams and Edgar, Correa and Crawford, and Stanek is the last driver to score the points finish. No picking your foot.
No.
And the Austrian fans, unfortunately, don't have anyone to support here in the Formula 3 race. There's no Austrians on the Formula 1 or the Formula 2 or the Formula 3 grid. If I recall, the closest that we're going to get to that is Laszlo Toth, who's from Hungary. And there's Ido Cohen trundling back to the pits with his sold car. Carlin are going to have to start from the pit lane with him. The Israeli Brit, Ido Cohen, could become Israel's first ever Formula 1 driver. And there's also an Israeli in Formula 2, as Roy Nassani is a Formula 2 driver at the moment, driving for Dams, who aren't in Formula 3, I'd like to point out. But the end of the formation lap is almost complete. The front runners are just lining up into their grid slots now, and we're going to get ready for green flag racing as soon as possible, preferably, as Sargeant's just warming up his tyres. He's weaving, and he's getting into his grid slot at the very front of the grid. There's the marshal's box right on the pit straight, of course, where Charlie Whiting famously used to stand and make decisions over the race. Yeah, the race is about to start, Luke. He's constantly like tapping me. Liam, the race is about to start. Liam, the race is about to start. But yeah. The only team to not score points in this championship so far, interesting fact, is Campos. They've got a few different drivers already this season. They've already had 4 drivers. And keep in mind, there's normally 3 seats, as the last drivers are just lining into their grid slots. The race is about to start, isn't it, Luke? And here comes the last car lining into the grid slot. I think that's the Genzer, but we're getting ready. The green lights are the green flags are being waved at the back. 3, 4, 5 red lights, and away we go for Formula 3 action. Good start there from Nannini from the right-hand side of the grid. Is he going to take the lead into turn 1? We have a staller in the background. It's an ART. I think that might be Juan Manuel Correa. Into turn 1 they go. No, Nannini takes the lead. Sargeant second. And third is Martins. We got Colette running a bit wide there. And in the background, we got a few different cars jostling for position. Here we go. There's a battle for third going on here between a Prema and I believe it's Victor Martin. Down the inside goes Martin battling for third place. He loses third and fourth place, and up into third goes the Trident. I believe it's Jack Doohan. Into the race lead is Matteo Nannini from second on the grid, however. I've had them. Anyway, into turn 4 we go, and it's Nannini that's leading from Sargeant. At the moment, third is the Trident, and fourth is the Prema. We've got all sorts of chaos behind. Everyone's going side by side with each other and jostling for position. Second place right now. At the moment, it's Logan Sargeant, who's lost the lead to Matteo Nannini, who someone who's part of his management team actually follows me on Twitter, so on Instagram, so that's actually quite good. Yeah, Matteo Nannini has started second on the grid today, and he's taking the lead off the start. We've got yellow flags in sector 2 at the moment. Martin battling with a Prema for fourth place. We've got a few cars going side by side into Jochen Rinker, the penultimate corner on the track. We're heading out of the final corner for the first time. Is Matteo Nannini, the race leader. Hello, Manny. Welcome to the stream. If you hear my little brother in the background, then just ignore it. But in the race lead is Matteo Nannini, the Italian, who is the nephew of Alessandro Nannini, a former Formula 1 driver. Look, stop trying to get attention. Campos running very wide there, but at the moment it's the HW8's leading. I'm just kidding. Keep commentating, Luke, if you like.
No.
In the race lead, still Nannini from Sargeant. The fighting is resuming up front, and everyone's side by side with each other. Sargeant's got the slipstream on Nannini. Can he get through? Well, I don't think he can, because there's yellow flags in sector 2 being waved. I don't know why that is. And there is Cohen, I think, who's out of the race. No surprise there. Hello, Racing Channel. Welcome to the stream. And yeah, it is Cohen, who looked to have technical issues right from the start. He had issues off the start of the race. He stalled it on the formation lap. Thankfully, they didn't need to do an extra formation lap, but this is a replay of the start. It's not a great start from Sargeant or from Martins. And into turn 1, the Premas are crowding around the Alpine. The Alpine MP, I should say. So Nannini takes the lead, and then there is the Prema going up into third. And then you've got the Trident there on the outside trying to make the move. I think that's Clement Novalak. Who is first? First place is Matteo Nannini, nephew of Alessandro Nannini, a former Formula 1 race winner, of course. He won for Benetton, but we had a staller on the grid. Now, I think it was Correa, but I'm not completely sure on that. No, it was Vesti. Frederick Vesti stalled it. But this is Arthur Leclerc's on board. He started from 4th on the grid. Now he's unfortunately down to 8th. I wonder why that is. Into turn 1 he goes. and he makes a bit of contact with the Trident there. I think it's Clement Novalak. Red Bull KTM P5. I don't know what you're on about there, but this is a replay from Killian Williams. He gets a bit of contact there with the Carlin. I'm not sure which Carlin it is, but it is a Carlin, that's for sure. I think it might have been Kalen Frederick that he made contact with, the American, and Williams was in the wars there. Red Bull KTM P5. Are they P5 in the constructors? I didn't know that. That's quite interesting, since MotoGP is unfortunately off for 5 weeks, so we're not going to be doing any commentary on that. And there's Idle Cohen pulling off to the side of the road with the car issues. Can you see us? Yeah, unfortunately, I can't show the races because I will get claimed for it. So apologies that you won't get to see what the races actually are. But we had a VSC. So it's Nannini ahead of Sargeant, then it's Novalak, Caldwell, Martin, Doohan, Hauger, Leclerc, Sawyer, and Crawford. And we are almost up to green flag racing again. And yes, we are. As off the restart, Wassa gets jumped by Edgar. But we've got a car running wide there. I think that might be Johnny Edgar. And it is. He's lost a few places. And Wassa's up into 13th. And tomorrow home. I don't understand what you're talking about there. Your English isn't very good. Sorry. Anyway, Edgar and Iwasa side by side off the restart. Nannini still leading. Sargeant still running in second, holding off Novalak and Caldwell, who are trying to challenge him for the podium places. We've almost got 4 wide there, and almost contact involving 2 Red Bull sponsored cars, and that's the Trident getting forced out. That's David Schumacher, nephew of Michael, of course, and son of Ralph. And Johnny Edgar is up into 14th place now. Schumacher lost several places, including Tyrone Staniek and Kalen Williams, who had a bit of contact earlier. So you're heading home to Latvia tomorrow. That's good. Being homesick is not a great thing. I've been homesick in the past, and it's not a good thing. But yeah, Schumacher there's just not 2 into 1, doesn't go through that corner. And I believe the curb hits. I think Iwasa hits the curb and isn't able to leave David Schumacher enough space. And Sargeant's still hanging on to second at the moment. Hey, Mum, good to see you. Mum's in the chat. Donna Putner is my mum. Hi, Mum. Look, do you want to say hi to Mummy? Mummy's in the chat. Do you want to say hi to Mummy? Oh, look, giving you to go more on screen. Do you want to say hi? Say hi to Mummy. Hi. Yeah, he's just chilling. We're watching the Formula 3 together, Mum. We're having a good time. But this is the battle for the lead. Sargeant v Nannini. This was very unexpected for me. And yeah, Mum, Cousin John's in the chat, so that's good. Anyway, hope you're having a good time, Mum. At the moment, Nannini's still leading from Sargeant. The gap's about 4.5 tenths. My hair's looking good, Mum. You don't need to talk about it. My hair's looking good. There's not a need to talk about it since it's all right. So, this is Kalen Williams is on board, getting into the wars yet again, and it's a bit of contact with another Trident. I think that's Schumacher again. It might not be. I'm not completely sure, but it might be. That's right. Yeah, it is David Schumacher. It cannot be anyone else if it is a Trident. And at the moment, we've got 7 people watching. Hi, Sean. Here looks fab. Oh, that's good. 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 And as we are progressing through the race, it's getting a bit interesting because the battles are still resuming. And Sargeant v Nannini. Here we go. Sargeant's going for it. No, he's not. He has to stay behind for now. And bit of contact there, and off the track, I believe that's Victor Martin, who's lost a bit of ground there in his hunt for the championship. Of course, he's now behind his championship rival Dennis Hauger, and he has not had a good race so far. Victor Martin, he started 3rd or 4th on the grid, and he's not had a good race. As this is a replay, what happened with Martin? Oh, he just gets too much on the curb, and he runs a little bit wide onto the green and into the dirt, and off the track he goes. But everyone's running as wide as possible without getting penalties. Through the last corner they go. Nannini still leading the race, but Hauger, who's in 6th place with fastest lap, he's chasing down Jack Doohan, son of Mick Doohan, of course, the 4-time Premier Class MotoGP champion. And here, that is Martin running wide yet again out of the first corner. This time, instead of turn 4, they're heading up towards a lapped car. I'm not sure who it is, however, as Leclerc and Martin are battling away for 7th place. As they come up to turn 3, side by side there between Doohan and Caldwell. Is that Doohan or is that Novalak and Caldwell? It's Novalak and Caldwell, sorry. Novalak and Sargeant and Nannini in a train together on the top 8, keeping up massively with each other. Meanwhile, behind Crawford v. Smallyer for 9th place. The TV cameras just don't care about Jack Crawford at all, do they? And they're still battling away. The top 8s are still fighting with each other. Same with the battle for 9th. Who will win the Red Bull Ring? I have no idea, but Leclerc, Team Radio, I'm not sure what he's been saying. However, he is gaining a few championship points right now, which will help him out in his hunt for championship points and for the title. He has only scored 15 points this year, which is 55 behind Dennis Hauger. We are nearly halfway through the Formula 3 season, and things are hotting up in the championship fight between the likes of Martin and Hauger. But to answer your question, I think Verstappen will win the Red Bull Ring yet again. To answer your question. But everyone in the top 8 has DRS on each other. This is called the DRS train. And here comes Sargeant. He's trying to go down the inside of Nannini. He can't. And out to turn 3 they go. It's technically turn 2, the second actual corner on the racetrack. And because of his poor exit, Sargeant's under threat now from Clement Novalak. But Nannini's still under threat from Sargeant. Sargeant's going to have a look. He doesn't go for it, though. And he's going to have to stay ahead of Novalak and the Hungary pack behind him and try and figure out how to get past Nannini, because Nannini is very much controlling this race right now. There's no pit stops in the first or the second or the third races in Formula 3. It is only in Formula 2 and Formula 1 where there are pit stops during the races. And even then in Formula 2, it's only the last race of the weekend that has that. So everyone's still keeping up with each other. The most of the gap a gap in the group is the gap between Sargeant and Novalak, which is around 0.6 of a second. And really, that is not a lot. Even in Formula 3 terms, it is not a lot. And this is a replay of a high-tech, I think it's Stanyek going for it on Correa. Yes, it is. Correa had to run wide and lost the position. There's nowhere for Correa to really go. Max will win Red Bull 1-2 is what you think. Interesting. Checo had really good pace last weekend. And there's Sargeant trying to get past again. He can't, though. And Nannini's doing a great job at defending here, staying ahead of Logan Sargeant. But Sargeant's got DRS. This could be the one for Logan Sargeant. He could take back the lead after a poor start. Here he goes. He's going to go for it. Down the inside he goes. Side by side with Nannini. On the corner exit they go. Nannini's got no space. And in the end, he loses position to Sargeant. And Sargeant takes the lead. And we're going to have no self-promo, sadly. So, no self-promotion, my friend. I'm sorry, but there's no self-promotion around here. Oh. But now Sargeant's into the race lead. And it has been a very good race from Sargeant so far. He's taken back the lead. From obviously pole position. He lost the lead, then he won it back again just now, actually, just this lap, and we are heading on to lap 10 of the race. And is Sargeant going to set fastest lap? No, he doesn't. No one's setting fastest lap. They're all part of one DRS train, and no one's really managing to pass each other at the moment, despite the fact that it is a DRS train and it is Formula 3 with all the slipstreaming that everyone's doing with each other. Nannini's catching right back up to Sargeant again, and all the progress Sargeant's been trying to make could be undone. Here comes Novalak, and here comes Nannini. Both of them go through on Sargeant, and Sargeant's down to third. He runs on the curb. He's trying to hold on to it. He manages to get back past Novalak again. Side by side they go. Nannini takes back the lead. It's 5/10 of a gap between Nannini and Sargeant. And here they come into turn number 4. Nannini still leading. Almost contact there between Sargeant and Novalak. And now Caldwell's going to go for it on Sargeant. Racing is really, really at its finest here at the Red Bull Ring in this Formula 3 class. And let's hope we get the same in Formula 1. And in a few weeks' time at Silverstone in Formula 2 and in W Series, which is also on today, I'd like to point out very quickly. But Nannini's still in the race lead. Novalak is now second, as Sargeant lost 2 places in one corner. Massively disappointing for the American from Florida, Bolton Rouge, I think is what the place is called, in Florida. He's on the same place as Ariana Grande, but looks very noisy in the background. He's into the streams. And in the race lead is Nannini, running for HWA, who have links to the Mercedes team. Sorry for itching my nose, it's just quite itchy. And we've got a few cars running wide on the curbs there, including Dennis Hauger, who's been making a move on Jack Doohan. And here comes Jack Doohan coming back at Hauger again. Here they come in towards turn 3. On the outside is Doohan. Side by side with Novalak and Nannini. Novalak takes the race lead. Nannini's going to have the second bite of the cherry. And the slipstream. Novalak may have the DRS, but Nannini has the slipstream. Can Nannini make a move? No, he can to the moment. Here comes Sargeant. He's going to go for it. Nannini's going back down the inside. Good move. Back into the lead he goes. Sargeant up into second. Even first, I think. Side by side they go. No! Off. That's a Prema. Arthur Leclerc is off the track. Nannini retakes the lead. Oh my goodness. What a bit of racing that was. But Arthur Leclerc has gone off the track. What happened here? Do you have a Tesla? No, we don't. We're not electric yet. Soon though. Oh, he just loses the back end of the car. Or did someone hit him, I wonder? Did a good job at recovering though. He did a good job at keeping the throttle going, keeping himself out of trouble. He's down to 16th place now though, and he's out of contention for points unless he can manage to claw a 2-3 second gap. As the top is now, and here comes Hauger trying to have a look at Caldwell. Now it's more of a battle for the top 5 than it is for the top 7 or top 8. Although saying that, everyone all the way down to 15th places within a second of each other. And here comes Sargeant down the inside again. Can he retake the lead yet again? Nannini's going to hold it around the outside. This is fantastic racing, not only from Matteo Nannini, but also from Logan Sargeant. They're giving each other great respect and giving each other lots of room. I love Tesla too, but we don't have a car right now. And here comes Sargeant down the inside of Nannini. Can he take the lead again? Yes, he can. Novalak following through, trying to get past Nannini. He can't. But battle's still resuming behind for 4th place. But now it's for 5th, actually, as it's Hauger v Doohan. And the battling is ever tough between the front runners. Martin trying to find his way back through the field after running wide on the dirt. He can't make progress at the moment, however, and he's still behind Jack Doohan, who's part of the Red Bull Academy. And he's in the Red Bull sandwich. Just behind him is Jack Crawford, who's also part of the Red Bull Academy. And running in 2nd place is Matteo Nannini. 3rd is Clement Novalak. But Nannini's lost a little bit of ground to Sargeant. Novalak in radio, and it's probably saying how Nannini is not as quick as Logan Sargeant, although saying that Nannini has still got DRS on Sargeant as they run down to turn 1. It's around about 5/10 of a gap, and we've got a time penalty for Kalen Williams, and I wonder if that was a collision at turn 3 or 4 involving him and several other cars, as Hauger's just got up into 22nd place as he's made an overtake. Here comes Nannini. He's trying to go for it. He can't. He's trying to go for it on the outside. He's done a switcheroo. He can't make the move. England. Yeah, England indeed. But here is the battle for first. Here comes Nannini round the outside of Sargeant. Into the lead goes Nannini. Sargeant gets a black and white flag, which is a tap on the vest. If he gets 2 more of them, he gets a penalty. And Nannini into the lead again. And this is the battle between Kyle Collette and Kyle Collette and Alex Smoyer for 9th place. And I think Smoyer came out ahead, and he did. But there is Arthur Leclerc. He's got bitter disappointment. He's out of the race. He'll be very frustrated with that poor performance. Although until his issues, he was running fantastically well in his car, in his very quick Prima. And here we are heading on to lap 14. We've got 11 laps to go. Matteo Nannini is still leading this race. And this race has been absolutely fantastic so far. This is the sort of thing you'd see at Monza. But no, we've got it at the Österreich ring, or the Red Bull ring, or the A1 ring as it used to be called. And Nannini leading by 4/10 from Sargeant. Sargeant, the American, trying to get past Nannini, the Italian. And here comes Sargeant coming back down the inside. He can't make a move. And almost contact between Novalak and Caldwell there. Caldwell running a bit wide, as does in the background Doohan, I think it was, or was it? It might not have been Doohan. It might have been actually. But into the turn they go. Nannini still leading, battling, going on behind between Kyle Collette, Alex Smollier, and Jack Crawford, and they are still battling away. So much so that they've almost lost a second to the group in front of them. Latvia, yeah. I'm not a Latvia fan, I'm not an England fan. Come on, Ukraine, though. That's what I'm going to say. I hope Ukraine knock out England, even though it's very unlikely. But this is a Formula 3 stream. It's not a football stream. I might consider doing football streams in the future. But at the moment, it's Matteo Nannini in the race lead. And Nannini is doing an absolutely terrific job right now at managing the pace. And he's doing a fantastic job battling as well. Him and Sargeant are giving each other such good respect on the track, as they are with Novalak, who at one point was, of course, at the second, but now down to third again. But your top 10 is Nannini, Sargeant, Novalak, Caldwell, Hauger, and then Doohan. And then it's Martin in seventh. I don't get to see the rest of the leaderboard, as that's a replay of Caleb Williams yet again, running a bit wide on the limit. And wow, that's very impressive, Luke. Luke's made like a grid of his cars. Ukraine, my fan. Yeah. Oh, here comes Sargeant on Nannini. Down the inside. No. The top 5 not really changing. But as I was saying about the running order, 8th is Crawford, 9th is Smollier, and 10th is Collette. And most of the drivers in the top 10 are affiliated with some sort of academy. And the funny thing is, out of all of them, the top 4, they are not actually affiliated, which is interesting. Sorry, quite tired. I got up about 2 hours ago and didn't have a lot of sleep. Just kidding, I had good sleep. But we've got just over 9 laps to go. Oh, almost contact there. Side by side with Trident and Collette. And that, no, it's not Collette, it's Martin, sorry. And it's Martin and Doohan battling away for 6th. And that's beautiful racing. They're giving each other such good respect. A wise man's head on a young man's shoulders, I would say. As these boys, there's been hardly any collisions in this race so far. You're 15 years old. I can understand why you've not got great English then, as it's difficult learning another language when you're very young. But Ronald's continuing on for 6th place here. Martin back past Doohan again. Crawford getting involved. At the moment, still ahead is Nannini, but here comes Sargeant. He's going to go back down the inside. Logan Sargeant with 8 laps to go. Side by side they go. And Sargeant takes back the lead again. Can he keep a hold of it? Well, Novalak is threatening behind. And Nannini is the only car in the top 5 with a non-red scheme on his car. Non-red, white scheme even on his car. And that is a Trident and a Red Bull going side by side. That's Crawford and Doohan. And the battle resuming here for 7th place. And it's Doohan v Crawford instead of Martin doing for 6th. And half a second it is between Sargeant and Nannini, with Novalak in 3rd, the French-Swiss driver. But now Doohan back ahead of Crawford again. But I think he'll get a warning for track limits there, as we got a very, very wide Victor Martin, very out of shape Victor Martin. Caldwell and Hauger battling for 4th. And into turn 1 they go, and Hauger ahead of Caldwell. Here comes Nannini going back forward on Sargeant. And Nannini's going to go for it around the outside. Novalak's going to see if there's any room for him. Nannini, good on the brakes. He makes a move, and he makes it stick for now. Novalak now threatening Sargeant. And here he is. He's going for the move. He's going to go for the move. And down the inside goes Novalak on Sargeant. Sargeant down to 3rd. Absolutely incredible green flag racing here Fourth place is Hauger. Fifth is Caldwell. And absolutely tremendous racing. Matteo Nannini in the lead. You can't walk. You can't wait him up. I don't know what that says. I'm not great at you're not great at English there, mate. But Luke's making quite loud noises in the background. Here we are on lap number 18 almost. So we've only got 7 laps to go by my calculations. And my calculations should be correct since I'm decent with maths. Right behind Nannini, however, is Clement Novalak. And now Sargeant's under threat from Hauger, who's looking to make a move, although he cannot for now. And Nannini still leading from Novalak. Most cars still in the race, giving each other great respect. But Novalak v Nannini for the lead. Here comes Hauger on Sargeant for third. Here comes the Norwegian on the American. And the Norwegian, Dennis Hauger, takes third, or does he? Sargeant's going forward again around the outside. Can Hauger hold on to it? Whoa, here comes Novalak on Nannini around the outside. Nannini's giving him room. Novalak's going to try the switcheroo. It's not paid off for now. And for now, Nannini's still in the lead. They're side by side in towards turn number 6 to go. And still ahead is Nannini. And this racing, beautiful green flag racing between everyone here at the Österreich Ring in the first race of 3 at the Austrian Grand Prix. This is obviously a support series for Formula 1, which basically means it's like you have the under 22s in football, and then you have the senior teams. As moment Nannini hanging on to position, that's not black, chasing him down for first, as is Hauger, Sargeant, and Caldwell. And Crawford's just outside that group. He's just outside of that second. It's crucial. Bit wide there. Sargeant goes. Caldwell's going to be threatening him. These two, of course, were, well, they've sort of swapped roles in a way, because one of them was driving for Prima last year. One of them was driving for Trident, a blue and red team. And as things stand, whoa, down the inside there goes Caldwell on Sargeant. And as the top 3 would look, nothing would change. But speaking of, here comes Clement Novalak down the inside of Matteo Nannini. Are they going to make contact? No, they're not. Good respect. And Nannini loses the lead to Novalak. And this is beautiful green flag racing between these two, the Italian and the French, battling away yet again, just like in the past. Although I'm not going to talk about that. Novalak's actually Swiss. I like to point out he's French, Swiss, British, so he has a British accent. He was born in France. He grew up in Switzerland at a British school. That's why he has a British accent. My neck's getting a bit sore. Novalak only 4 tenths ahead of Nannini, though. I think Nannini's going to get back past him again very soon. The top 3 have pulled outside of a second of anyone else. Caldwell's lost a lot of ground. It went from being the top 8 to being the top 3, the top 5, to being the top 3, and Sargeant from 1st to 5th now. It's been a disappointing race for him. Nannini's going to try and get back past Novalak again, but Hauger's hunting him down like a tiger, hunting down its prey. And Nannini right behind Novalak. He's good on the brakes, but that doesn't help his exit, as Hauger's going to go for it on the exit. Crawford and Martin battling for 6th behind. Here comes Nannini, and here comes Here comes Hauger on Novalak. And around the outside, it goes Nannini. He can't make the move. Hauger's going to try and get back past. He can't. Novalak's still in the lead, and these 3 battling away. Down the inside goes Kyle Collette on Jack Doohan. And the racing is still extremely entertaining. And just give my brother a kiss and see the best boy in the world. Best brother in the world. Luke, are you the best brother in the world?
No.
Who is the best brother in the world?
Mommy.
Liam, did you say?
Mommy.
Oh, yeah, we're not going to mention that name. I already mentioned it, and it's not really worked. As Novalak trying to pull the pin from Nannini, and the gap. Here comes Hauger. Is he going to make a move into T1? He's not. T1 means turn 1. Novalak being told basically Hauger's trying his very best to pressurize you and try and pressurize Nannini, who's also pressurizing you. You got to watch out because Hauger's chasing Nannini behind. Nannini's going very defensive. Nannini's always good on the breakthrough here. And he manages to somehow get it slowed down in time for the corner. He's right behind Novalak still. And can Novalak lose position again to Nannini? Nannini's had an absolutely stellar race. And personally, apart from Hauger, he'd be my driver of the day. As they go side by side, Nannini on the outside. Nannini, oh, contact! It was inevitable. Nannini and Novalak collide. And Nannini is down to 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. And that's a puncture for Novalak. Surely. And now into the lead goes Dennis Hauger. Prema somehow end up in a 1-2 as per usual. And Novalak's going to be absolutely raging with him after what happened there. I forgot I was live. As the yellow flag's in sector 2 still. This is a replay of what happened. And around the outside goes Nannini. And that's definitely Novalak's fault. He doesn't leave enough room there. He has to give him more space. He has to because, Nannini is side by side with you. It's 50-50, but Novalak does turn into him there. Oh my goodness. And Novalak just turns into him. It's the oversteer. I'd give a penalty to Novalak for the next race, personally. And that's me being unbiased. Because Nannini was side by side. But, and now Nannini's right down. I can't see him. He's not even on the timing screens. Oh, no, he's in 7th, sorry. Nannini's still going to scrap some points. Although it's been a pretty poor race after leading the majority of it. And Nannini is still trying to fight his way back up into the top 6. His pace is good. It's just not as good as the likes of Hauger's. As there's Martin, who's now in 4th, battling with Jack Crawford, who's now in 5th. As the top 3 are miles away from the rest of the field. And that top 3 is Hauger, and then Caldwell, and then Sargeant. That's quite funny considering all 3 of them used to are current Prema drivers or are in the top 3 of the championship. Look, can you stop doing that? He's pretending he's on the trampoline, but it's on the couch. Anyway, Turkey is very warm right now. Last day in Turkey, because you said you were going back to Latvia. Hope you had a good time in Turkey, my friend. Cheers. Can we swap? Here you go. Liam gets this water. You get that water. But the battle. Here we go. Martin v Crawford as they come into turn 3 for the penultimate time in this race. I was going to say third last time in this race, but it's penultimate time. And Crawford's trying to hang him in there instead of Martin. He holds on for now. Here comes Martin threatening him yet again in this race. And the battle's still resuming. Colette's getting involved. And so, right behind them is Matteo Nannini, who had his contact and went down to 7th place. Although he is still in the points and will be happy with the points, he'll be raging at the fact that Novalak and him collided. And this is Williams fighting with an ART. And the ART getting all tailfishy there. But I believe that's one man World Korea that was getting all. Oh no, Sergeant Vessi. My apologies. It was getting all fishy on the exit of the corner. And Vessi did a very good comeback considering he stalled it a little bit on the grid. And he's running it just outside the points in 13th place. Nannini is, as it stands, only getting a few points as we head into the final lap. The race leaders are Dennis Hauger and Ollie Caldwell. And Caldwell had a very disappointing round last time. Paul Ricard made a very interesting social media post in which he said he got punted by a bloke he never heard of before. But Caldwell and Hauger battling the way for the lead. Nannini is having a fight with Doohan. Nannini's trying to hold it on the outside, going as wide as possible. And we've got yellow flags in sector 2 still, which means that Nannini isn't going to be able to get past. And I wonder who that's for. And green flags are waving again, or are they? It still says yellow flags, but it says green flags as well. Since on the dashes across the circuit it says green flags, but on the FIA monitor it says yellow flags. still in Sector 2. But here we go. You didn't get a COVID test. To be fair, you are 15 and you probably never had symptoms. So, I mean, I've had symptoms once or twice, but it's not been so bad that I've, ever been suspected to have it. This wee man's had to get tested a few times.
No.
But anyway, Dennis Hauger wins the Formula 3 first race in Austria. And he's starting on pole for the third race, if I recall correctly. And it's Caldwell in second, third Sargeant, fourth Martin, fifth Crawford, sixth Collette, seventh Doohan, eighth disappointed Matteo Nannini, ninth Iwasa, and 10th Alexander Smallinger. So thank you everyone so much for watching. It's been such an entertaining stream to produce. Thank you everyone for watching, and I will see you all for the next stream, whenever that may be. Goodbye. You got a COVID jab. Interesting. Anyway, goodbye everyone, and I'll see you all for the next stream. Peace out. I'm done, Dad.